everyone, what's up? It's your girl Amanda, and today, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to tell you all how I got into Disney parks for free. But before we get started, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I drop a video. Let's get started. So I wanted to begin this video by watching the evolution of Mickey Mouse. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the evolution of Mickey Mouse, but Mickey used to low-key look scary. So growing up, my family and I used to always visit the Disney parks, and at one point we would visit so often to the point where we knew where every ride was without a map. So before we get started, I wanted to watch the evolution of Mickey Mouse himself and then move into how my family and I got into Disney for free.
Fascinating, the evolution of Mickey Mouse costume characters in and out of the theme parks throughout the decades. Now, everyone is familiar with the Mickey Mouse you see here in this video, the bright, bubbly, looks like he's pulled right out of a cartoon kind of version of the character, but he hasn't always looked like that. In fact, he's had a very interesting, long, and weird history. And to start, we need to go back to 1934, where Mickey was at the height of his newfound fame, even being included as a Thanksgiving Day parade for the Macy's Parade, which is pretty cool. Here is the first picture I could find of him shaking hands with Santa at the Conn's toy department from the Oakland Tribune. It wasn't until 1937, though, that Mickey made his first red carpet debut at the premiere of Snow White. Now, this is a really weird costume. A black unitard with shorts and gloves, and this weird fabric mask that was actually very similar to the way that Mickey was sold as a stuffed plush animal.
That is
totally weird,
like very
and interesting.
Weird.
Fast forward to 1955, during the opening days of Disneyland, where Mickey made his first theme park debut. Now, when Walt opened up Disneyland, he didn't have any of the costume characters readily available like we know and love. So what he had to do was reach out to, believe it or not, the Ice Capades, which since the early 1950s had been featuring licensed Disney characters in some of their big numbers. And so Walt reached out to the Ice Capades and borrowed a couple of the costume characters, including Mickey and Minnie. Now, these characters are particularly weird looking because of the big gaping holes in the costume to allow the performers to see. Here's a clip from the opening day of Disneyland.
And they're on their way, ladies and gentlemen. I can see them.
No lie, I would run.
There they go. And they're going into the Mickey Mouse Theater, a beautiful movie house which will have a continuous performance for children who visit Fantasyland.
As you can see from the clip and these photos, these big kind of horrific looking gaps, which were necessary for the ice skaters to have that wide range of vision, kind of made them look particularly horrifying. It wasn't until 1958, when Alice in Wonderland ride opened up in the Disney parks, that a more presentable, not so gaping holes in the face kind of versions of Mickey and Minnie were presented and looked kind of decent, but still kind of frightening at the same time. There were a lot of complaints, and kids really did not like these versions of the character.
Either, because what?
We're looking up Main Street from the heart of this magic kingdom as a world-famous figure signals the start of the big parade.
It was 1959 that kind of ushered away that horrifying Mickey head design and brought in a more friendly, more cartoony looking Mickey head. Thanks to the grand reopening of Tomorrowland that was televised and kind of was made a big deal of.
It's too perky or something.
Big,
I don't know.
hard molded Mickey head. Still kept the Ice Capades unitard
and he's
with
so
the shorts,
red.
which was not really that favorable, but the Mickey head was a massive improvement. Skip forward to 1960, when Disney got the great idea to kind of improve the proportions and make Mickey not really look like just a dude in a black unitard with a big head on top, but instead try to make the proportions a little bit better. And they did this by kind of making these big-headed characters that the cast members would perform in, and the cast member's head would be up in the hat, and the arms of the costume character couldn't really be controlled. They were kind of like floppy doll arms. We got a ton of complaints about this design because the realness of the character was kind of lost, because there really couldn't be any interaction with the guests and the costume characters, and the face was all like soft rubber and weird. It was 1962 when Mickey got the kind of major overhaul led by Walt. In fact, Walt picked out a 4'6" Ice Capades performer named Paul Castle, which kind of set the precedence of that shorter performer being used for Mickey and Minnie to give them a more realistic height instead of them being really tall characters.
Yeah, because why is it a giant mouse like 6 foot tall?
A bow tie and the suit and the pants. It was a really great kind of look that they then expanded upon and changed and evolved over the years. But this was like the core Mickey Mouse look that was born around in the early 60s. 1978 was the 50th birthday of Mickey Mouse, and the Great Parade that was debuted in 1978 kind of showed off this new Mickey, the Spirit of America parade.
She looked like she was playing with somebody's makeup.
Thick black eyeliner, and he moved to a four-finger design, and most importantly, the hips of the Mickey were rounded to give him a more defined shape in the body. It was 1987 during Mickey's 60th birthday that he got another overhaul, and this one kind of changed made a smaller bow tie, smaller, rounder eyes. They dropped that thick black eyeliner that was so iconic in the 80s, and kind of made it a more friendlier face. In 2004, though, we saw a huge step forward in the Mickey Mouse costume characters, and that is through the articulated heads. The Mickey could blink, he could lip sync, and it was really, really cool, which then led to the guest interaction meet and greet Mickey that could interact with guests and talk to them thanks to a two-way mirror inside the Magic dressing rooms in Magic Kingdom's theater right when you first walk into the park. Guests could go in there, interact, talk with Mickey, have full conversations. It was a really amazing step forward and kind of incredible. I just blew my mind when I first saw it. In 2016, Shanghai Disneyland debuted these new Mickey and Minnie that garnered a lot of controversy, kind of changed the core shape of the head a little bit, got much higher eyebrows, thinner, rounder, more ovally eyes.
They look really good.
It was kind of an interesting choice, and it kind of, I believe, pulled Mickey more into the cartoon world, but definitely got a lot of negative criticism from big Mickey fans. So the evolution of Mickey has been a long one that has stretched over decades and has really been fascinating, and I'm sure we're going to see more and more developments and more articulation and great stuff to happen with these characters. But in researching this, I was just absolutely fascinated and had to share a bunch of this information with you guys. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what your favorite Mickey version was over the past 60 years.
So now let's talk about how my family and I got to go inside of Disney parks for free. So if you don't know, and if you're an employee or if you're a family member or a close friend who works for Disney, you can in fact visit the Disney parks for free. And as a disclaimer, I am not by any means encouraging the behavior of applying to Disney so that you can get inside of Disney for free. Please make sure that you have good intentions and don't be in these people's faces wasting their time. So growing up, my family and I had a family member as well as a close family friend who both worked for Disney. And aside from getting inside of the parks for free whenever we wanted to, along came merchandise and food discounts. Now, we didn't just go to Magic Kingdom, we also went to MGM Studios, which is now Hollywood Studios. And MGM Studios was by far, to me, a lot better than what it is today. I'm not saying that MGM Studios or Hollywood Studios does not have any good rides. However, back then, MGM Studios was a lot more tailored towards movies instead of just more of a theme. And what I mean by theme is Hollywood Studios is honestly more tailored around the story of Toy Story versus being around movie making. So aside from just going to Magic Kingdom and MGM Studios, which is now the new Hollywood Studios, as well as Animal Kingdom, we would also go to special events like Mickey's Not So Scary. This event honestly was like the new version of the Trunk or Treat years ago. And it was honestly the new safest way to trick or treat with your children because you didn't have to worry about finding any needles inside of candy or any razor blades or any items that could harm your child while trying to partake in the festivities of Halloween. You not only got to get candy, which is a child's favorite food, but you also were inside of Disney World, which is the best place to be ever on this earth, as well as you got a chance to ride all of the rides because everything was open. So another perk, and it could just be a Florida thing, but the college that I went to, they were partnered with Disney or had some dealings with Disney to the point I was able to get discounted tickets to go to Disney World. Now, I'm not sure if this was only a Magic Kingdom park or if it was for all the Disney parks. However, my family and I at the time chose to go to Magic Kingdom. Now, honestly, it felt so good to take a break from going to Disney because, like I said, we were going so much, and honestly, in that time frame, Disney was not updating any of their rides. They weren't adding any new rides, and everything was kind of how it was going to be for the next 10 to 12 years. From the time frame of being a sophomore in college up until I was fresh out of college, my family and I did not visit any of the Disney parks. Then that's when I decided, let's start back again, and we booked a Disney trip for my niece's 13th birthday. But that is the end of the video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I drop a video, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.